I have to shave it again. It's getting fuzzy. Oh, Father. See if anybody comes in. Hey, Miss Chicago BBW. Can y'all hear me okay? Hey, Dustin, what's up, you guys? Can y'all hear me? Y'all can see I'm not on the phone because the phone is in my hand, so I'm on the iPad. Let's see who all comes in, and then I'll take y'all on a little tour. How's everybody doing? How you guys doing? Hey, Liz. Sound quality good? I haven't done a live on the iPad yet. Dustin, just do the practice test on, if you do the practice test online, you can do searches for practice test. Hold on. Let me see. CDL hazmat practice test. Hold on. There's several you can do. The first one that came up was Test Guide Free. CDL Hazmat Test Questions 2020. It gives you 500 questions. I think I used Trucker Country was one of the other ones I used. I think I did the CDL test. I just used random tests. There was another one. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it's like the free MV practice test. I did that one. I know for sure. But you can do like those practice tests. By the time you keep doing it over and over, once you start scoring, what I did is I set a standard of 100. Once I started scoring 100 on those, and then I would read about the questions I would miss to try to understand them, and then just understand that you're gonna see almost those same exact questions on the hazmat test at your DMV, but they might be reworded a little bit differently. So you got to get an understanding. You got to kind of remember it and just understand they worded differently. Some of them be worded exactly the same. So use that. I honestly, I didn't read the book. I didn't read the book. I'm trying to think if I ever read that book. Yeah, I never read that book. I used nothing but the practice test, even back when I was in juggling school. Only time I did use the book was as reference to get an understanding. That was it. I never used the CDL book. But my trucking school, we had a book about, and I still got it. It's about this thick, okay? And it was 6 months. We did like 3 or 4 months in the classroom, and then the rest was road range. So the book itself gave you the premise of everything that was in the state CDL guide. So what we were learning in class was hands-on taught and shown and shared from the experiences of the senior drivers who taught us. And so if you were a person like me, because y'all can tell I'm kind of analytical and I'll learn like that, it wasn't hard. So then all I needed was a practice test because my real experience in the classroom was what was written in that book. And the only time I really went back to the book is if I read it to need to get understanding, like to research to understand something. So for the most part, I read that book. Like air brakes, I did go and read stuff on air brakes because because air brakes, things that were to me life critical, stopping the truck, braking systems, things like that, I wanted to know. So the braking system, air brakes, I did read and study on it. But the rest of it, I did on there. And also, depending on the practice test you get, oftentimes, if you miss it, it'll let you read what the actual answer to the question is. Hey, V. Griffith, what's up? Who all is in here right now? So Liz came in. Chicago BBW came in. Shay, what's up? I didn't say hi, Shay. Everybody's in here. V Griffith. Okay, so I'm gonna take y'all on a tour here in a minute of the garden. Y'all helped me last time figure out that I had cucumbers. So I didn't have any. So problem with the garden is I didn't have any. Well, let's go in order of stuff first. So channel changes. Let's talk about that first. So shout out. I called him a him last time, but it was a her. A young lady reached out to me through email, and let me see, y'all. Hold on, let me see if I can find it, because it was a very nice email. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Oh, that's not the one. Here we go. Let's see if I can find her email. Here it is. So I'm gonna read her email because it was very nice, and the name on here was Robert. So I thought it was a man. It is a girl. And I'm going to read it because I thought it was a really very nice email. She said, "Hello, Trucker Doll. I sincerely hope all is well your way." And I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it, but I thought it was a very sweet email. "I just wanted to pause the time to send you a private message. I absolutely enjoy your videos. I honestly can't recall how I stumbled across you/your channel. Just thankful I did. You are standing ovation funny. I'm not a trucker. I've thought about becoming a truck driver here and there. As of now, it's just a here and there thought. I watch your videos because you speak with so much wisdom beyond trucking. You keep it 100, and you're just so funny. I love the way you don't try to be like anyone but you. You don't try to be like other YouTubers and edit your videos all the extras to get the views. You're truly a ball of knowledge." From trucking to spiritual to politics to everyday life-ish. I just pray that you continue to post, encourage others, and bless people with all the nuggets you drop, gold nuggets. Day by day, I'm watching every video you've ever posted. I laugh so hard when you talk about Grumpy. Grumpy Smurf called me this morning. I don't even remember what he said. It was my birthday. So he told me happy birthday, and I did this. Because he called me. I worked till 4 a.m. this morning. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute anyway. I just pray that you continue to post, encourage others, and bless people with all the nuggets you drop, gold nuggets. Day by day, I'm watching every video you posted. I laugh so hard when you talk about Grumpy. I was in a low place the day I stumbled across your uploads, and no kidding, as I watched your videos, I began to laugh, smile, and click on video after video. Continue to be you. Let God guide you. I'm not a creep. I just like giving credit and respect when it's due. So I had responded because I tried to. If it's something, if person ain't weird, I will respond back to you. And like Dustin, I've chatted with Dustin online. Hold on, y'all. I've chatted with Dustin. I've chatted by phone with V Griffith. I've chatted with Chicago BBW on the phone. I've chatted with Wendy on the phone. I don't think I've talked to Shay on the phone, but if I remember you and we interact, I chat with y'all. That's never an issue for me. If you're weird though, I cut it off, okay? We can talk about that too. So in the video, the last video I did, I mentioned and I said he, but it's a she. And so she said, "I just watched Choosing Trucking's Job, D.L. Hughley and Shiz. I appreciate the shout out on the video. For clarity, I'm a female. She's African American. She's 37 years old. She's a baby because I'm 52, 53 today. So your most recent video was full of wisdom. I totally appreciate how I can watch your videos and not only hear about trucking, but about everything under the sun. You taught me a few things about planting. I was raised by my grandparents, so I have an old soul. Not trying to creep you out, but I was like, this is so cute. I think I found my YouTube mother." I thought it was sweet. Laughing out loud. The end of the video was hilarious, especially with the faces you were making while informing viewers how good the burger was. I would definitely I would definitely recommend changing the name because you definitely dropped more than trucking jewels. Sending you air hugs and love from the Carolinas, North Carolina. I get Carolina. Carolina's beautiful, by the way. If you guys have never been there, gorgeous, beautiful, green, lush. 2 and 2. She gave me 2 and 2. Not a lot of truck stops though. And we had a terminal with Swift there. Anyway, hated the yard. But anyway, so I did want to shout her out. but the same name was Robert something, and I thought that it was a man, but it's a female. So thank you. It's a beautiful email, and it's encouraging when you get stuff like that, because as I've gotten older, and we'll get to the channel changes here in a minute. As I've gotten older, there were parts of my life I didn't want. I didn't want what I felt was really my born. I believe we're all born to do something on this planet. And I knew I was born to do something, but as I got into ministry, I didn't really want it. And part of it is that I am supposed to impact people's lives. Because at a young age, I was forced to take care of two siblings, because my mother looked at me as an indentured servant, I began to hate that. And what happened, though, in the course of that is that there's nothing that happens by accident in our life. And sometimes we have to go through bad, and sometimes we have to go through mistreatment in order to get the gold. And that's the only way I can kind of say it. Sometimes you got to go through the fire in order to come out polished. And if you understand that, it's like when steel is made, if they make a sword, if they go to make gold, if they do pottery, all of that has to go through usually a fire process in order to be formed, developed, shaped into something useful. And the same thing if we look at it in our lives with us. If you can look back over your life and you look at the bad things that happen, and if you gain strength through it, then that was part of your polishing and your fire process to get you to a point of where you're at. Well, my childhood, while it was not lovely, it was actually horrible. There are people that have way worse than I had. But at the same time, what I've realized now, and she called me a mom, is that's part of my calling, is that kind of motherly thing. I do not have biological physical kids. I cannot have children. When I got really sick, that was part of me not having children, to have a hysterectomy. And it was not something that, honestly, I ever really wanted. In high school, I remember seeing The Miracle of Life. I was so good. I did not understand teenage pregnancy. I was like, that baby got to come through that. Ooh, hell, no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell. And one of the girls that I was in high school with, she got pregnant in high school, and her baby was, I talked her out, to hear me being a mom again, I talked her out of dropping out of high school because she was going to drop out, and we were both in the business program. Little white girl, Anglo. I think her name was Tammy. I don't know why. I hope I may be remembering the name wrong. And I met her, last time I saw her, we met at the Jack in the Box on Millen University after she had her son. And she thanked me, and I told her to go see the counselor. Now here I am, a high school student, and she was going to drop out and just go on welfare. And I said, look, we're in a work program that's going to help you with your child later down the line. I don't know if she ever did. A lot of times people are in those positions, and all of a sudden you're a teenage, you're pregnant, you're hopeless. I don't know what her family background situation was. And you don't see the big picture. All you see is the worst case. And I believe that was her. And I just sat down and talked to her, and I took her to the counselor because I was dealing with the counselor because of family issues with my mother. And I was staying with my grandfather. So, and my aunt was an educator, not at that school, but she would, one of my aunt's college classmates was also an educator at our school. Matter of fact, she headed Black Student Union at our school. So when you have family in education and you were a kid, your family don't be acting up in school because you get told on. I didn't act up though. I was a good kid. But I'm just saying, for the ones that child, mama, auntie, uncle, granny, you educator, you got family who educators, they be knowing people. And mom's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to so and so. She works at your school. They be knowing. Anyway, like I said, I was a good kid, so I wasn't a bad kid. But she had her baby, and she talked about the birth and things ripped, and I was like, I'm good. Between the miracle of life and that conversation, I was good. Plus, I raised my two brothers, so that desire to rear a child, it was gone. I mean, I don't know that it was really ever there. LaDon, what's up? Who else came in? Let me see if anybody else came in I missed. Okay. LaDon, welcome. It's been a while. But yeah, so when she sent this, I thought it was lovely. It confirmed some things. And as I've gotten older, I've accepted the fact of what I know my natural calling is. And I am a nurturer. It was something that was thrust upon me young, and it has developed into my adulthood. And as much as I try to reject it, it still draws people. So when people draw to me, they look at me like a mom. Like even Nikki, when Nikki was around me, she would say, you remind me of a mom. So I remind people of a mom because those are the characteristics that were thrust upon me very young. And it's also part of the ministry thing. So like when you have a pastor, whether it be female or male, that pastor and usually his wife, they should have almost like a mom father, or vice versa. If it's a man, woman, whatever, they should have a mom father kind of spirit about them, because you're like their children. um it's, that's why they call out of the patriarchs in the Bible fathers. Moses was a father to his people. Noah, these people, Abraham. You realize it's kind of that nurturing parenting type thing. So thank her because she identified that. But she also blessed me because I've been trying to decide what to do with the channel. Now that I'm not over the road, and I'll be honest, unless I was absolutely forced to have to drive again, I have zero desire to drive a truck again. There's a lot of reason. It's not that I love driving the truck. It was all the other BS with it that I didn't like, the bull stuff. And working in the office, I see how, and I don't care whether it's the company I work for or any other company, all trucking companies, to me, I think it's similar of most of them. And there may be some that are worse than others, but I really believe now working in the office, I see the background that answers the question as to why the driver's experience isn't good. And A, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. B, you got a lot of people, I think, vying for positions politically within companies, and that's true of most businesses. I've worked in corporate America. You got people that'll cut each other's throat just to get a title in a position. That's true of every position, but the problem with trucking is because it's so hands-on. You got those men and women on the front line. They need immediate help. And how the whole thing operates, they really feel the mishmash of mess when you have that kind of environment, and it just rolls downhill. So if companies aren't organized, if it's about greed and it's not really about you, then unfortunately you suffer the consequences. I talked to a customer last night, and I feel sorry for him. He was lied to by whoever was handling his account. He was told that one truck was right around the corner, and could that truck stay on the yard? When I went to pull the truck up, the truck was 221 miles from his facility, and he was supposed to be getting product to install. He's a contractor, to install in houses as of last night at 5 a.m. on the East Coast. And the product wasn't going to be there for another 4, 5, 6 hours. So at this point, he's screwed. The other truck was close, but it was at least an hour out. So he had been lied to. When he told me, I just said, "Sir, I apologize." I said, I can't. And he was lit. He was lit. He said, "Ma'am, it ain't personal." I said, I get it. I'd be hot too. But as I said, I understand now working on the inside. That's why drivers, we knew a lot of times when sometimes if you had a driver manager that would straight up lie to you. And sometimes, to be honest, they might not be lying to you. Somebody might be lying to them. Everybody covering their own behind, doing their job. And then also the trucking companies. The one I work for works very lean. When I say lean, I mean lean. There's only 6 people who work my shift. And we're covering the whole of the United States for all of the trucks for this company. We have one division that handles the ports, and whoever works there, they don't even ever answer the phone. After hours dude don't never even pick up his phone. You can call 5 million times. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's sitting in his chair farting. He don't answer the phone. So because I was a driver, half the time I feel sorry for them. So sometimes I help them as best I can, but I can't see all the details of port loads. So sometimes I have to open a fuel for them. Sometimes I try to help them as best I can, but if I was their driver, I'll be honest, I wouldn't work for them. Not for the port division. Ain't no way in hell. If you don't have nobody to support me in your port division, and the person that's in the office ain't answering the phone, I can't help you. Now, we have 6 people helping in the evenings where I'm at right now. But even that, when we come in, those calls, they sometimes wait 40, 50, 60 minutes. I've had them tell me they wait that long, and I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And we bridge in, we start coming in, I think around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. And then we work up until, I think the last person leaves at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when the regular dispatch managers come in. Now, we have some dispatch and planning capability, but we're not allowed to use our planning capability. And then we also have dispatch, but the dispatch is really just to push out the existing dispatches that were created in the morning. So we don't T-call loads at night. I don't do any of that in the evening hours. Nothing in the evening at that company will I do it. Pretty much if there's a problem, I send emails and the driver just has to sit and wait until somebody gets back in touch with them. So I get the frustration, and now that I see it from the office side, and there's things that I think that could be much smoother, but for whatever reason, it's not. Everybody just runs. This is, like I said, I did a video a long time ago. Everybody is in their own Cheerio box. This is my bubble. I'm gonna do what I do in my bubble, and I don't give a damn about your bubble. So instead of having something that could smoothly flow, that's not how trucking has made this. Nor it doesn't seem like they want to, because to do that costs money, and they don't want to spend the money. So if we can still make money and run it half-assed, that's what we're gonna do. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be frank. Like I said, the only company that I worked for that I felt was a really good trucking company, because in my opinion, it was very driver centered. Everything they did, I felt was carte blanche to me, the driver. The trucks I had was carte blanche. The treatment when I got to a terminal, I felt like I was a movie star. And even the respect given to you when you got to, you would call driver or professional driver, and it was done almost like, I would say, sergeant or major. It was almost like they had trained the mechanic staff. The only thing that was bad for me was my driver manager was a butthole. Everybody else, when you went in there if you dealt face to face with the mechanic, if you dealt with the fuel aisle people, anybody in there, always was, the service was there. And like I said, I didn't use wisdom because I was young in the game. What I should have done, and I probably would have almost still been with that company, I should have asked for a different driver manager. I should have switched to the two ladies in Memphis. And this white guy had told me this when I met him over the road. He worked for our company, and I should have switched to them. Had I switched to them, I probably would have still been there. The treatment, I mean, even our showers, the cleanliness of the facilities. When I went to take a shower, I didn't have to take the shower bag. I took my soap in there. Hey, V, I didn't have to do any of that. I was treated so well. Everything that we didn't have to pay for laundry. When you were at their main terminal in Joplin, you went into this. Even how they managed their equipment, everything they did was good. The safety guy who set that up, thumbs up. Unlike when I went to Swift only checked the trailer. They didn't check your truck. This company, when I pulled in, SRT did this, they did this, and WFX does this. Well, WFX got the guy from Conway who established this. So that's who's running their safety and who set up their shop protocol. So when you pulled into Conway and you pulled into that job, only Joplin did it. Joplin was the only one who did it. You did have other satellite terminals, but they didn't do it to this degree. When you pulled into Joplin, you went into an enclosed bay, okay? In that enclosed bay, they did a trailer check, tires, brakes, lights, doors, hinges, paperwork, registration, license plate, okay? And your truck, immediately the hood was opened. Your keys were taken, and you sat there, and you could sit in your driver's seat, and they basically went through, looked to your engine. They basically did a pre-trip of your truck, everything, tires, all that, lines, everything, okay? They then checked the system to see if there were any warranty or any recalls or anything that was supposed to be fixed. So my truck was relatively new, and there was a recall on something. And so he said to me, when I remember the first time I went to Joplin, he said, driver, he said, ma'am, what's going to happen is you're going to pull out of here. You're going to drop your trailer right here. We've got a few things we need to do to the trailer. But your truck also has some maintenance issues based on some recalls we need to get updated. And you're going to go down to blankety blank. He says you can stay in the truck up until they decide to pull you in, but once they pull you in, you're going to have to get out the truck, and you can't take your dog has to go with you. I'm like, okay, unless you have a kennel to put the dog in. They can't work inside the truck with the dog in. So Hillary had to come with me. It was cold too. I took my laundry. I went and got my laundry done because laundry was free. When I shower bag, when I say shower bag, I didn't have to take towels. Normally you go take a shower at any terminal, you got to take your own towels. All you do it in there was either give them your keys or give them your license, and they gave you the towels you needed. And then when you come back, you show that you gave their towels back, and they give you your license back. That was it. They just wanted their towels back. You go take a shower, boom, and I mean clean, clean. Okay. From there at the main terminal, if it was after hours and you needed to go anywhere, they had a cab company that they would have come pick us up, and all we had to do was give our driver ID. It would take us anywhere in Joplin we needed to go, and then if we got it, then we just called to get it back, or they would come get us via van if the van was up and running. Amazing company. I just really driver focused. And like I said, my driver manager that will make or break your relationship. She was a B. She was a B from the first time I talked to her, because we had some issues when I first talked to her, because the first trick they gave me was a piece of crap. And she was not helpful, and I was like, okay. And then it was a lady who called, I guess they see how your experience was during orientation, and I told her, I said, ma'am, I'm not staying with your company. And we talked, and then she says, I'll get you another truck. And next thing I know, she got me another rent-a-car, and they had me drive from... Where was I at? I think I was in Houston. They had me drive Houston to Lancaster, which is Dallas area, and I picked up a brand new, and that was international. I hate international, but it was brand spanking new. It was nice on the inside, and I was young, so I didn't know how sucky internationals were, but it was brand new on the inside. It was a nice looking truck on the inside, but internationals have a lot of problems. So, and they're cheap. Oh my God, they're cheap. So I will tell you that, but what I realized from talking to this young lady, and I'll read comments here in a minute, or this email she did, was I need to change some things to the channel, because I'm changing. I'm older. I'm not driving anymore. While I can still have some trucking content, and I'm going to keep the old trucking content, that's not really where I'm at anymore. I'll still be doing some things and still answering questions and talking about experiences at work that I can talk about. But for the most part, the trucking is not the main focus of where I'm at in my life anymore on walk. And there's other things I'm doing at home. I also have a certain following, so I already know that there's certain people that listen to me. And in the background, some of the people that listen to me do so because she's not the only young lady, because for whatever reason they feel I'm inspirational. And that's a blessing to me. I'm happy I could inspire somebody. Everybody needs it. Sometimes I get on here and I need to be inspired. So I know that's where. So there is going to be a channel change, but I'm not getting rid of the trucker dog. So you guys will see the new name change. You'll see a little slogan that I think I'm coming up with the name change. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking to Fiverr, and I'm going to try to work on the logo and t-shirt design for the channel. And I have an idea on how I want that to go. So the trucker doll will be amended a little bit, but it's going to have additional nameage on there, and then there's going to be a slogan. And then we'll talk about t-shirts. So I'll be rolling those out. I'll be adding to the channel some content. Gardening. We're going to add cooking. I may even add product reviews. Because there's things like when I was talking about them burgers, she's so I love talking about food. Well, food is one, but there's other stuff. Like I can probably talk to you about this iPad. I'm off on vacation. I took today and tomorrow's vacation, but the rest of the week I'm off. I don't start work back to Thursday. So I had, what's today? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I got 6 days off. And during that 6 days, I'm going to be working on some things here in the house. Who came on? Hey, Kathy, what's up? You may have to rewind back to catch up with everything. I'll be working on some things here in the house because I am going to get ready for the furniture to come in. However, the furniture is not going to come in until probably end of August, beginning September. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm also going to what I call prep for the stuff coming out of storage. So I told you guys I'm very much a bugaphobe. So Joe has a pest control guy that he uses. And I told the guy, I'm bringing stuff that's been in storage for a while. And I know because I had Joe, my buddy Joe, had a problem where family members brought some bugs in, and he had to go through a heavy duty professional treatment. And he put stuff in storage. So I know people will put stuff in storage with that issue, and it can bleed over to your storage unit. So I'm having him do a pre-treat for roaches, bed bugs, any kind of bug critter that could come into this apartment. And if I even have any issues, I'm having him pre-treat for it. Okay. I really have pretty much taken care of most of my stuff, but I'm a bugaphobe. My bed is sitting in little bug containers, and I put a little diatomaceous earth in there. So if you get a roach, if you get a bed bug, they can't come up in here. If they did, they're gonna have a bad day. Before they get to me, they're gonna get to some stuff that is gonna mess them up. So I have the bed sitting in that. I'm probably gonna get them for my couch too. I just know my best friend works for a pest control company, and when I get done talking to her, I be itching. So I'm doing a pre-treat, and the first pre-treat is he does three visits. And then I may have him come back after everything is in here and have him do another spray. And then I'll probably schedule him every other month or something like that. I'm paying for it. I did not ask my landlord to do it because my rent is too cheap. You don't want to start piling on demands when your rent is half the cost of most people in the valley. Most people are paying $1,400+ a month. Matter of fact, one of the guys who got, and I just talked to Larry, he's a truck driver. I mentioned him, but I didn't get to get into all the details. So when I was living at the apartments that we got gentrified out of, my neighbor to my left was a truck driver for a company called First Fleet here in Arizona. And he was a regional, I think he was regional. And he pretty much drove from Arizona to Vegas, produce. And very nice guy. But he's retired now, and he had worked in trucking back when it was the union. Y'all, you know what? I ain't taking my blood pressure medicine, and I can feel my head is light. Hold on for a second, y'all. We're going to go for a walk. And this is the iPad, y'all. So let me get the phone because I need to charge it. Okay, hold on, y'all. Y'all seeing the ceiling. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I can feel my head is light. I'm like, all right, why does my head feel light? Because I ain't taking my blood pressure medicine this morning or my diabetes medicine. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Today's Friday. Today's Friday. Yeah, you know, I took the wrong meds last night. That's what I had to have my days thing. Get water. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Y'all still there with me? Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to have them come in and do a spray to get ready when the stuff comes in. Most of what I kept, like I talked to the guy who was really nice, pest control guy, and I went over everything. And most of what I have is all hard furniture. I didn't keep my soft furniture. So I didn't keep the bed, I didn't keep the chair, I didn't keep the couch. And the reason is because I did not really... My goal was to leave here, get some money together, and buy me property somewhere and put a tiny home on it. That was my ultimate goal. That did not happen. So I ended up back here in Arizona as I felt led, and the timing could not be more better. Well, we'll talk about that one time too, maybe later in this video. So with the channel, there's going to be a name change. There's going to be content change. And I do know, I kind of said, you know, what do I want to do that's interesting to me that still kind of interacts with the people who do follow? I mean, I have 1,600 subscribers, but a lot of those may be people who watch the channel, trucking channel, but I have really a steadfast group of you guys that I interact with. So I know that can be anywhere from 20 to 30 people. Usually on average, I have about 60 to 100 folks who follow any updated videos that I do. So I am going to probably, some of the trucking stuff is it's going to diminish. It's going to go down. It's not going to be It's not going to not be there. It's just not going to be there like it was. I'm not going to be sitting in the truck in most cases, like I said, unless I absolutely have to get back in the truck. It is, and I honestly, I would hate getting back in the truck. I'm very turned off from the industry, from the truck side, from being in the truck, and having to respond back to dispatch and all the games and drama and lies, and I can't, and non maintenance of equipment. I just can't. I'm not there anymore. So for me, I'm going to be, yeah, I don't have zero desire to go back into that. Um, from inside the trucking company, I mean, I know I'm working for them now, as God opens up something else. What I like about what I do now is really, I normally like helping my drivers, but I could tell I was getting a little bit snappy. Not snappy, but I was getting, not snappy, but I'm very short. I had a very short fuse with some of the stuff because some of the company I work for, I definitely going to say it's a starter company. And it's a very big company, but they handhold their drivers a lot. A lot of these drivers don't do their job. I'm shocked at the number of drivers that call me. Can you update my call? Can you update all of my trips? I don't know. For me, updating your trip was part of my paycheck, so it's my responsibility to make sure I update. Some of them don't do it at all. Now, some of it is a system issue. They have a different onboard computer system than any trucking company I know, and it's horrible. I'm to be honest. I've been grateful with my boss even now. I'm like, it's horrible. And he knows it's horrible. He knows it's horrible too. Oh, sweet Jesus, it is horrible. Oh, I can't even, oh, Father in heaven. The driver can be sit and stop, getting unloaded, and the damn system puts him on the drive line. So horrible. Oh, sweet mother of God. I was like, wow. The driver can't see, like when I drove, if I remember correctly, on my Qualcomm system, and it's been a while, I've been 8 months out of a truck, 9, whatever. When you get, your Qualcomm will show you your 11, your 14, and when you had to take your 30-minute break, but it usually showed you 2 or 3 days of your recap. So what you had coming back for a couple of days. They don't see but nothing but one day. They can't see what they come. Then it doesn't matter if they even can't see that. Most of them don't even read it or pay no attention to it, because then they call you asking you, can you tell me how many hours I got on this? And I'm confused. You looking at the 11-hour clock, what does it say? Oh, it says 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. How much you got on your 14? I don't know where that's, what's the 14? What's the 14? You need to get out the truck and you don't need to drive until you do a logs class. To me, any driver that's calling, questioning how to read their logs, that automatically should be signified to their driver manager to get they behind to a terminal, and they need to have a safety guy, and they need to have a log, face-to-face log class, and have them sign off. And they need to do examples and have them fill it out on paper and see if they're doing it right. Because if you don't know how to use your logs, because see, the scores are, if you get pulled in by DOT, it don't only affect you. It actually comes back on the company. But I guess if it's not important to the company, like I said, it depends on what the company's priorities are. And I think that a lot of trucking companies are like big boy, what do you call it? Big boy pharmacy companies. You know, I put this drug out here, and yeah, the drug is supposed to take care of your diabetes, but at the same time, if you take it long enough, your left foot fall off. I'm just using an example. Well, after I have so many people that, you know, they take it and their left foot fall off, and then we have a class action lawsuit. Well, I done made $8.9 trillion. So you suing me for $100 million, that ain't nothing. That's like me having $1,000 bill and you suing me for $100. I still got $900 left. So that's how these big boy companies think, and I think that's how it's thought of in trucking, so they don't really care. And so, I don't know, it's like I said, there's things that I realize now being on the inside that I would like to see different, but, you know, and especially some of the treatment I got in the beginning, I ain't got nothing to say. I have no suggestions for you. I I ain't got crap to say. I come in there. My goal now is come do my job, put my paycheck in my account, and I'll leave you the hell alone, and you leave me the hell alone. I'm not looking to grow with you. I don't need a title. I don't need a position. I just need you to give me the agreed upon funds that you're supposed to give me. If I'm due a raise, give me a raise. If I earn a bonus, give me a bonus. And I don't work all over like some people doing all these shenanigans for bonuses. I don't do that. I don't, because there's always normally a way for a company can get out of a bonus. So my thing is, I never look at, if I get a bonus, wonderful. It's that, a bonus. But hey, Regina, but if I don't get a bonus, I don't even worry about no bonus. I worry about the core paycheck. That's what I base my funding on. In my youth, I used to do all the splits and do all this stuff and work extra hard to get that little bit of change. But then as you start seeing some of the games of companies, oh, we didn't do good in our stock price this time, so ain't no bonus. Okay, well, ain't no doing no extra either. I'm gonna do what my core job is and take my black behind home. I'm not doing no extra. So I learned that I work for my pay, not for bonuses. Bonuses is like, to me, companies putting a carrot out there and having you run around chasing the carrot. Like at the dog races, my grandfather used to love dog races, greyhound races. They had a little fake rabbit, and them greyhounds, I'm gonna get that dang rabbit. I'm like, no. I'm gonna get to the finish line. Trying to get that rabbit. A rabbit is the bonus. You chasing something that they ain't gonna give you. Or if you do get it, it might be one or two of y'all that get it. Or they might decide not to give you the dang rabbit. Nah, I'm good. Just pay me my regular pay. That way there's no disappointment, there's no festivity, there's nothing. So, as a matter of fact, I talked to a driver a while back, and she said she had left different companies because they didn't give her the bonuses. And I said, you don't realize the bonus is a game? It's like when I went to that Hirschbach company out in Texas, and we did the lease purchase thing, and they told us we were supposed to get $2,000. So I forgot what the bonus was. It was a decent little bonus. And then we get in there, and she goes, oh, you guys did wonderful in orientation, and you've done all of your testing, and you've done all of your trainings, and we're going to have your trucks ready for you. So we're going to give you, we have some things for you. And she come in with these gift cards from the company, and they'd be used at the company store, and I think it was like $100, $200 gift card. So then when she told us the bonus, and I'm just giving an example because I don't remember, but when she told us about the bonus, she said the bonus was $1,800. And we thought, whoa. We were told $2,000. Oh, well, a gift card, that's the $200 of your 18. I don't need no shirts with your name on it. I need that dollar bill with a face on it. them ninjas. And everybody in there, we busted up laughing because it was game. And that's why I said that's the thing about transportation industry. But they're not the only industry who does it. They do it a lot more than most, though. That they got a lot of game, and they good at their game. Very, very good at it. I don't know why this iPad, it makes me feel like I'm looking over there. I might turn it this way because I'm looking to my right because I'm right-handed, but I think the camera's right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn it later. But anyway, but this is the new iPad. It's a 12.9. I went ahead and got the top one, which was 1 terabyte. It's the iPad 12.9 Pro. I'm making payments on it. I did not come out of pocket because I did not have it out of pocket. It is my little birthday gift to me. And the reason is because over in the box is my dismantled Windows machine. And I have 2 Windows machines, of which both are not working right now. The one that was working, I kept getting memory errors, and I had replaced the memory card. Amazon did send me a replacement, but I think I'm going to up the memory. And then there's a fan issue. So I'm going to go ahead and fix those two things, those 2 things, put it back together. If it continues to get an error, then I'm going to have to put money together, and I'm going to eventually buy a new laptop. Now, I have a whole nother 17.3 laptop sitting in my storage unit. However, I don't know where it's at in the storage unit. I just know it's in a box. And unfortunately, as I said, everything in the storage unit is not being moved into this apartment until probably end of August, beginning of September. So reason I'm doing that is a lot of reasons. One, I'm going to have him come do his spray treatment, which is every 2 weeks he comes in for 6 weeks. And then once I get everything in here, if for any reason I feel I need him to come back in, I will have him in to come back in. But I want to get this place ready, fumigated, and where critters don't live. And what he's going to lay down will take care of any and everything. Um, and I'm paying for that because, like I said, I don't ask my landlord to do it. One, I've always been in an apartment complex, and they don't normally pay they don't really pay for a true good pest control. The pest control that they pay for, it ain't really all that great. So, as one of my friends said, they come feeding the bugs. They become inviting bugs to come in so they can come back and charge for people. So I'm hiring my own guy. I'm using the same person Joe uses, and then I'll get everything in here. The only thing I do probably will be ordering, and I'm leaning towards a day bed and not a true couch. And the reason I'm leaning towards that is like once this whole pandemic thing is over, I had Danielle come and stay. Regina and her son came and stayed. I won't be hosting usually more than one person because my place is so tiny. I don't host couples. I always say that I host only one person. Regina's situation was different because she was thinking about transitioning here, transitioning back here. But I'm going to get probably a day bed because it can convert to a bed. And I also like the mattress I have in there, which was actually I sit on, and I'm like, this actually be a comfortable seat. I'm the one day bed that I really like the frame. It's an Indonesian bed at a place called World Market Cost Plus, but the damn thing is like 300 and some, 400, might be $400. It's around $400. I have a 15% off coupon for my birthday, but the problem I have is they're charging shipping, and I'm like, there's so many places you can buy furniture from, and because of the price of the furniture, you're not paying shipping. I'm giving you 4 bills, or at least close to 4 bills. You shouldn't be charging me shipping. So that's one that I really like. I've always liked it. I mean, I've liked it's been there for years, and I've always liked it, and I thought it would be neat. So I might do that. If not, I've been looking away for another ones, but I want to get a good frame. And I'm heavy set. We do know the goal is to get the weight off. So, but I also want to be where, even if I'm heavy set, and some of the people I know ain't tiny. Danielle and me, we ain't tiny women. She's smaller than me, but I got family just like Danielle, and I got friends we got the poundage. So I want it to be where if it can hold me at this weight, it should be able to hold any company or guest that I have. So I want something that can hold some poundage. And then I'm gonna probably order a couple of chairs in here, and I like kind of the old worn leather look chairs and the ottomans. So I have some ideas of what I'm looking for. So I can probably put about 2 of those in here. The desk is going to stay here, and I think I have another desk in storage if I remember correctly. This chair I was probably going to get rid of and sell on OfferUp or something like that. I don't know if I am or not. I might end up moving this chair to my room to the second desk because I'm gonna set that other desk up in my room. And also going to be getting a stationary bike. So when I fractured the ankle, I dropped like 30 pounds, and I was riding a stationary bike every time I went in to get my legs going back again, get the muscles built back, and that helped me drop 30 pounds. So I'm going to be getting a stationary bike. I was going to do a treadmill, but a friend of mine who's an RN, we were talking, and she said that it would help me because it's probably also easier on the knees right now, especially being as heavy, trying to walk this weight off. I mean, walking is good, but the walking is also, I have one of my knees already is jacked. So the walking is good, but it's better if I do the cycling because you're sitting stationary and you're cycling. So you're still doing the exercise. Yeah, so I'm waiting to get that out, but like I said, I may have to end up ordering a laptop, but for now I'm not worried about that because this actually handles most of my internet. Now I do have a company laptop here, but I don't like using my personal stuff on my company laptop. Anyway, let me get in here and read some stuff, and then we'll go out here and look at the garden. Miss Chicago BBW said our COVID cases are going up. Yeah, Arizona, we have gone up. We're like getting on the level as far as the numbers, like how New York was. We're getting there. I've stayed in my house. Joe, if you guys don't know, keep him in prayer. He is sick. He was kind of more out in the petri dish, especially he was meeting with friends and doing stuff that I love him, but it's not stuff I would have done. But we all grown, and he has to make his choices. You know, my brother and his family, they went on vacation to Florida with 2 kids, and I was like, you know, but you know, he's grown. He is a parent. Him and his wife have to take accountability for their actions and what they do with those kids, and we just pray that maybe their choices are correct, and that they don't come down with the virus, and babies don't come down with the virus. But Florida also is high in cases, and they're out on the water, no mask, and a beach, and I think they were sharing a boat with some other family. Beautiful pictures, gorgeous place. I don't know that that's what I would do in a pandemic, and I understand how hard it is to stay closed up in your home, especially got little ones, and you know, my brother is very adventurous, as I think we all have that side because of kind of how we were raised. Um, it's just like I told somebody, it's like, well, Shannon, will you drive again? I was like, yeah, if I can have a trailer and a truck of my own. I'm not talking about trucking. I'm talking about a regular truck, a hooked to a trailer, a camper, and it's like a home on wheels, and I can drive and go or travel around. I would do ministry stuff, and I would go fishing, and yeah, I wouldn't have no problem doing that. But beyond that, I don't want to drive truck. I don't want to drive a semi. We're done. Matter of fact, if I had to go semi, I'd probably be looking for something regional or local. I don't want to be out there like I was. I need enough just to pay the rent in here, and you know, hopefully get me to retirement. And then, but yeah, our cases have jumped. Talk about that more. Let's see. Liz, the garden. I'm gonna go out there in a minute. We talk about my tomatoes aren't doing good, and I'll talk. Well, the plant itself is doing good. I'm not producing tomatoes, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I think it has to do with the heat. Yeah, the email was sweet. Thank you for the happy birthday. Let's see here, Ladon. Thank you, Ladon. Honey, that's life education. Yeah, Dustin just mentioned the glass door. When you guys want to research companies, that is another good option. You can kind of see some things. Oh, okay. Ladon's got a good question here. So this is a trucking question. So I'm gonna read it because if y'all, she says, so with you being on the inside, how do you see trucking in 5 years? Do you think small companies will close? And what's your opinion on the mega carriers? I work for a mega carrier in 5 years. I would find the okay. All right. So let's deal with that question real quick, and I'll take you out to the garden here closer to the end of the video. Um, I think we've already seen what's going to happen with a lot of smaller companies. Either they're going to be acquired, or they've got to have a really good setup. So like the dude in Lubbock, his setup was phenomenal. So how he had his setup, he basically, so the company, there was a food warehouse out there called Yano, Llano, and they actually handled the food supplies for something called United Grocers in the Texas area, and especially in that area of Texas where my father is, Amarillo, Lubbock, that little El Paso. They handled all of that. Okay. What this dude did was he contracted his trucks to Yano. And so for their over the road needs, he handled their trucks. So what I would do is I would pick up a Yano truck from the distribution center. I would head to Tyson. I would drop that trailer, and I would either leave out of there with a white transportation trailer or a Yano trailer. And then I was directed normally to California. And in California, they had set up, and I don't know how the money was divvied up, for deliveries to meat places from Tyson. And the Tyson I picked up from mainly dealt with Tyson beef. I didn't deal with Tyson chicken there. I dealt more so with Tyson beef at that facility. And I would take that into Cali, and then I would back haul in with produce and or plants. Okay. Because my over the road experience, he also had me doing, he occasionally had me do Washington, Oregon, and Wisconsin. Obviously, you hear Wisconsin, you know I was going for dairy products, cheese. So I would backhaul out of Wisconsin with cheese. And or if something, we have a hinky situation, I ended up actually dropping down, I think it was in Indiana or something like that, to pick up other grocery type supplies like your underarm deodorant, stuff like that, toiletries that would be in a grocery store, paper products, paper plates. I had to do that one time because I had a roll top, and when I went to get the cheese, they would not take the roll top, so they couldn't take me. So I ended up having to go get a load from another driver, and that driver had to come up to get the load that I was supposed to take. And that's just because of the type of trailer that my load was on when I left out of Tyson. Um, and he didn't know. He just didn't know. So I mainly stayed that. Now, see, that kind of trucking gig I could do. That didn't really bother. I actually liked it, and I was back in Lubbock almost weekly. I mean, you didn't go far. I was back weekly. Weekly, I was back. I was going out, boom, and I was back in a week, and then I usually had a day and a half to 2 days off. So it wasn't really bad. Um, he was just pestering, and if you just leave me alone, I enjoyed it. The equipment was phenomenal. But now that little company, his setup, he was set. He was manager control freak. He only had his family in positions. He didn't trust nobody. He didn't trust nobody. His shop was run by his nephew who wasn't a mechanic. The Mexican guy who should have been running the shop, he didn't run the shop, but that was who they went to ask questions. Texas is different, especially Lubbock. Major racial issues. We won't even go there. There was nobody of ethnic background in that office because everybody was in there was Anglo, and it was all his family, with the exception of one guy who was a driver for him in the past and was his friend. So, but I don't know how much he really trusted him because in the wall, so this wall behind me, so this would have been how their desks were, but his desk would have been facing that wall, and the other guy's desk would have been facing like this. He had a hole cut in the wall so he could see what he was doing. Now, his excuse may, I'm just going to be able to talk to him through the wall, but you can pick up the phone and walk around the corner. So what that tells me is when you have to cut a big-ass hole in the wall, you watching what he's doing. That's what you're doing. You don't trust nobody. And even though he's your friend, you don't necessarily trust him because he ain't family. So they very much, everything was family. Everything was family. Cousin, auntie, sister, whoever. And it was run, they only had 3 of them who ran dispatch. And I think he had 100 trucks. And so he was doing well. Now he was adding more trucks. So he was doing well because he contracted. And Yano actually, United got bought out by Albertson Safeway. And so it became part of that family. So the loads they were doing were even those loads too. And Yano was still the distribution center that they were being used at this time. I don't know if that's going to change because normally when you have big companies like Safeway, Albertsons come in, they're going to end up changing that. So either they're going to buy them out or they'll eventually move the product and have the product delivered from other areas. I don't know how long that lasts, but if he can keep that going and keep that relationship going, he was doing quite well. So if you have a niche as a small company, you'll be fine. For a while. Because prophetically, I think on a Christian level, I think some other things are going to happen economically. We won't go there right now. For the big boy carriers, I don't think you have anything to worry about anytime in the near future, in the next 5 years. It's going to really depend on the economy. But as long as we need to get food on the shelves, as long as there's a way to exchange money, as long as grocery chains are running, as long as hospitals are running, as long as the government is running, the transportation industry will keep running. Because if the transportation industry stops, that moves America. That's one of the reasons why the airlines can't go on strike. That's one of the reasons why the railroad, if they have a strike, the government intervenes. And if trucking gets into a point where they would have a strike, the government would intervene. Because those are the things that move America. One of the things that you don't know, if you didn't follow it, is that when the pandemic hit, there were exceptions made in several states on rules that have been very staunch for truckers. Those rules from even how long we could drive and even to the weight of the vehicle. You could be overweight and they wouldn't bother you, because at this point, we need whatever you got on that truck. Do what you got to do. Just get our freight to us. And they did not care if you were overweight. I don't say they didn't care. They gave exceptions to standardized safety rules so that the freight could move, even if you went over hours, even if you were overweight. Texas, I think, waived its weight stuff. And there were other states too. They didn't care. And especially if it was COVID related, medical supplies, food, toilet paper, they didn't care. So I think probably the only state that would have probably given you a hard time might have been Cali. And I don't even know to what degree that would have been. During the height of it, with the whole New York thing, when it was first introduced, and when we were having all the stuff on the shelves and the grocery stores were empty, they didn't care. They were like, well, if you guys got to go overweight, if you got to go over hours, we're going to work with that. We're going to work with that. So when that tells you how critically important transportation industry is to the economy and just to our way of life as Americans. So that's going to continue. And it's not only here. I used to have some trucking followers that followed the channel from other countries. And I don't know if they're still on here, because I had one girl from another country who drove. But I watched sometimes trucking in other countries. And you could see, I forgot what country it was I was on, if it was England or where it was. And the trucks were backed up down the freeway in that country with produce, just like ours. Theirs are more day cabs that sit on top. Theirs a little bit different. They were backed up down the freeway to get into a facility to get loaded and then delivered. It was bad. So during this crisis. So that tells you how important transportation is. So for your mega carriers, they'll be the last to get hit. Small companies have already been experiencing the issues, and then also how you manage your small company is critical. So, and the same thing with the big boys. If you don't manage it right, that's what happened to SRT. It wasn't being managed right. I think the owner did some shady McLaughlin stuff, and the people who, had to reach out, and Covenant came in and bought it up. And so, and come to find out, I think my son, the one who referred me in, Jay, Chi-Town Trucker, he told me that they're no longer there anymore. He doesn't work for them anymore either. They had contacted him talking about changes to his lease on his truck, and he said, no, I'm not changing. I'm not redoing the whole trucking thing again. I'm not doing that. So he ended up working for another company, and he's doing a lease through a smaller company up in the Chicago area that keeps him in that area. So yeah, I don't foresee any. Did I plug that in? I meant to plug this in. Hold on. I meant to charge my phone. Yeah, I don't foresee any changes in the near future for it. I think the trucking will be fine. Now, how badly will financially this hurt them? I don't know that it will, because I think the government has given stipends not only on the low end, but dang sure the companies got major stimulus help. So they'll be fine. And a lot of companies took that doggone money, and they're going to be just like the banks in the day. I wouldn't even go there. So whatever. It's going to go to the people on top. They're going to put it in their pocket. If they dwindle anything down to the lower folks, I'll be shocked. It's the nature of the beast. I worked in finance too long. The same crazy stuff they did there, I'm not expecting to be any different. Business is business in America. And then let me go look and see, because there were some other questions on here. Hold on. So hopefully that answered that question. Hold on. All right. Thanks, Dustin. Said your personality and keeping it real is what keep us watching. Let's see. I'm not driving any trucks anymore. I'm done with trucking. I don't care if it's Expo. I don't care what it is. Hey, Robert, you made it. Welcome. I already shared your letter. Everybody, this is Robert. That's the one who wrote the letter. Thank you. Happy Friday to you as well. Let's see. And happy Friday to all you guys. So, yes, I got a lot that I'm doing. And like I said, there's going to be some changes. I'll probably be doing some cooking on here. and I think Wendy asked me, and somebody else asked me, could I show them like how I cook? And I'm eating differently. I'm not gonna tell y'all I have not eaten meat, because I had, matter of fact, I had some discounts, and I had wings the other night. I ain't gonna lie, it was what it was. I had a discount. I'm like, okay, it's to this place. Let me get that. I ain't had it in a while. I want to learn now. My niece Vicky went totally. Vicky, when I say I call my play niece, she went totally vegan, and she made for me a vegan version of chicken wings, which was made with mushroom, with portobello mushroom. It was good. So I'm gonna see if I can get that from her, because there's things I just need to incorporate. Like, I figured out, if y'all don't watch Tabitha Brown, she does the vegan stuff, and she's her family, and she does like she also I mainly watch her on Facebook, but she does vegan recipes that she comes up with. And I just come across an old one that she did with, and I was peeling my carrots this morning to have some carrots, and she did a vegan one with carrots, turning them into like a vegetarian bacon. So I tried it this morning, and I did the little peel, kind of like what she did, and I have some liquid smoke, and then she did her seasonings, I did mine, and I put it in there and let it bake until it was kind of crispy. It'll work. It would work. It would work as a substitute for bacon. The flavor was there. It was smoky. I put my seasoning on it, and I'm a seasoner. I don't believe in just salt and pepper on some food. To me, food, you want to enhance flavor. It's like when I make a salsa, and I make a damn good salsa. And usually, if I have my grill, I fire roast all my vegetables. Then I have a processor, I put them in, and then I have some other things I do. Well, one of the little key ingredients, which I'll tell you, is I use honey. And the reason I use honey, so you gotta understand food, honey brings out the flavor of tomatoes. It brings out the sweetness of the tomato. So I use a little honey in my salsa. And if you do that, it brings out that sweetness. So now, it's not like sugary, but your tomatoes it brings the tomato flavor to the forefront. Even though you're not understanding, something is different. What's different? Because the sugar from the tomato and the sugar in the honey, they kind of meet, and it makes the flavor kind of explode. So I do that in my salsa, and not a lot, just enough to make the tomato pop, make it just kind of jump off the page. So I do stuff like that, and like I said, I come from a family that can cook, and it's like I said, I come from people who can actually cook. Oh, okay, I will. I'll check the email again. My email, I check it on every so often. Also, Facebook. So I'm going to mention this for those people who try to reach me on Facebook. I used to do and accept a lot of friend requests in general, but I have, because the channel has grown, like I said, I'm not 60,000 or 20,000 or some of the bigger trucker drivers on here, are bigger YouTubers, and that's not a point anything. I want to reach people I'm supposed to reach. That's just how it is. That might not be 50,000 people. That might be 10, and that's okay. But if I have people reach out to me and try to friend me, I have decided that I don't know that I'm going to be doing that much anymore. If I know you already, I may establish that, but going forward, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. You can go ahead and join the Trucker Doll page. You can follow it all you want to, but the friend request, unless you're like a family member or something like that, or somebody I worked with in the past, I won't be doing that. Even when I worked at companies, I was working, and Laura, who's our person on the Trucker 411, I would not allow people from my work employment onto my Facebook. And it's not that I'm doing anything wrong. To me, there were companies that to me were looking for stuff. And I'm going to be me on my Facebook page. So I don't want you, if I comment on a post because of a Christian thing, or if I comment on a post, and I don't usually get involved with political stuff, but if I comment about something, let's say I'm political, if I say something about Black Lives Matter and you don't like it, I don't want that to be a point of contention in my office. So for me, I'm not going to get into those, and I'm not going to allow you on there. So like my current employer, they're not on my Facebook page. And they could ask me all they want. They're not coming on my Facebook page. They actually have a Facebook you could join. The girl, when I first started, I said, oh, okay, I ain't joining that. And I'm not having you attached to mine. None your business what I'm doing. My off days are mine. This is job. We not. If I leave here and I go develop a friendship or affiliation with you, it's a different story. University of Phoenix, there are a lot of people that I work with at University of Phoenix that are now friended to me on Facebook. But when I worked there, I had one girl ask me, she said, Shannon, I sent you and I didn't accept it. I didn't. And told her why. I said, I said, we work together. I don't believe in my social media and my work crossing because I know that some people are looking for something and then some people, you don't know where they will take stuff. And I'm like, I'm so cool on it. So I'm not doing that. I'm zero. So I'll be doing that. I'm going to probably go ahead and get a P.O. box up here. Right now, I do have a contact, and I gave her my physical address because I'm cool with her. But we've been doing seed exchange. And so if any of you guys want to do that, let me know because that might be something I establish. And what seed exchange is, I was growing some stuff out in my garden, and I told her I had the delicata squash. With delicata squash, I didn't send for it. I actually had picked up a squash at Trader Joe's and ate it and saved the seeds. Well, it's out there and it's putting out fruit. My freaking bees aren't doing their job and pollinating it. So the fruit keeps dying. I haven't gone out there and self-pollinated, and I don't know if I will. I'm going to see if the bees do their job because they've done them with the cucumbers. Because I didn't know until I went out there last time that the cucumbers were going to grow. So if you have to understand something, cucumber, squash, those plants have a male flower and a female flower. And the bee is supposed to go in there, he swings around the male flower, then he takes his butt over to the female flower and does his little thing in there, and he gets it to pollinate. That's his job. Well, with the bee shortage that we have, I don't know if you guys know, there's a bee problem now. With the bee shortage that we have, I'm not really getting that degree of it. Well, come to find out when I went out there with you guys on the last video I did, it is pollinating I have one bee I done seen. His little... This little bee, he be pissing me off. If I water, he go out there, he just be drinking. He just down there drinking. Then I got a little stubby, I don't know if it's a squash or a cucumber plant. I don't know which one it is. I just moved it. It was two of them going together. And I moved it, and it's struggling trying to get to its little thing, but it's just got some leaves. And he's sitting there on the leaves sunbathing. This little ninja, he's sitting up there like, you don't get to doing your doggone job. Bro, I need you over here working. You ain't working. But I got lush plants. I got lots of flowers. And his butt ain't working. I had like 5 or 6 little delicata babies. But if they don't get pollinated, they just dry up and die off. So they have to get pollinated to continue to grow. And so he wasn't doing that. And I thought, that's why I said I may have cucumbers. Because if it didn't pollinate the cucumber, the little baby, the female part of the flower, then the cucumber would just, that fruit would just shrivel up and die off. Well, I'm gonna take y'all out there and you can see it did. He been doing some work, lazy behind. And my homegirl that I'm doing the seed exchange with, I was talking about the bee, and she said, "Oh, he chilling, waiting for his next stimulus check." I got your stimulus. I got your stimulus, boy. If you don't get to work, and then if I walk out there, he's gonna try to sting me, and he gonna fly around me. I'm like, look, I know I look like a big old juicy piece of chocolate, but bro, if you don't get to doing some work, so we'll go out there. But y'all got some stuff to do, and what I'm gonna be doing while I'm off on these 6 days. I do have like some organizer shelves that I just never organized the way I should, so I'm going to focus on that. I got to focus on this shelf in here. I got something eating on my tomato plants at the top, but the plant is still green, bushy, growing. I don't know if that is a caterpillar. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. And I've seen what I think are called white flies. I did a spray and did a wash off, and all of them just kind of started going. I do have neem oil I use. I also use diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth, if you can get it, I get it from Harris. It'll say like bed bug powder, but it's OMRI on it, which means organic approved. So it's approved for organic gardens. All it is just the powder. It can be used for any kind of pest control for bed bugs, roaches, spiders. but it also can be used in your garden. So I got it because it was the cheapest form of it, but I'm going to eventually order the big bag of a company called Safer. And you can use that in your garden. You can use it around your house as a natural pest control. It is a natural pest controller. So the thing is that we have to be careful because you do need pests in your garden, certain beneficial pests or bugs or insects to help your garden grow. So I don't want to kill off my bees. I don't want to kill off butterflies. However, I do want to kill off anyone that ain't doing nothing but eating my stuff. So right now, and I think my issue with my tomato plants may be the heat. Arizona has been exceptionally hot, and the location in the back gets a lot of sun. And while tomatoes like some sun and they grow in the summer really good, there's only a certain amount of heat and sun they want. So I think that is why I'm not having success right now with any tomatoes. The flowers are blooming and they'll die off. I'm not getting any fruit from them. And then I already know what's going on with the squash because Mr. B is following me around instead of doing his job. Let's go out there because this is almost 75 minutes. And let me take y'all out there. I'm going to lay it down again. Hold on. This is big. It's literally like a little laptop, y'all. This is like, it's a little laptop. And what I did get, just so y'all know, I got a case. And the case has a keyboard attached to it. And you can change. That's one of the reasons I got it. I researched it. I've always wanted a Mac, but I didn't really have the money because the one Mac that I really want is like several thousand. And they just got it. Brand brought out the 16. All right, let me see how we gonna do this. Hold on, y'all. All right, I don't know how can I turn this on? I can. Okay, there you go. Oh, nice. Okay. So y'all get to see, and this is the nice camera. So these are just recently planted. I had the dirt, and so I moved that bean plant right there was in this little tower thing that my drip system didn't work out good. This here is ginger, and I like ginger. So this is ginger root. You can grow your own ginger, and so I got another one coming up. They'll grow up. I think they produce a flower that's supposed to smell pretty good. This kind of a mishmash of just whatever seeds I threw in it. I don't know if that's going to do anything because it was planted late. Here are the tomato plants. And you see, I've watered them. They've gotten nice and bushy, but the flowers aren't doing good. And on top, if y'all see, you can see something's eating off the top there. So I don't know who's chomping, but somebody been chomping. So I am getting corn over here. This corn's not doing as well as the other one, but we do got ears of corn. I got two. So I got an ear here, and then I got a couple more ears coming up here. That's a marigold, that big bushy plant right here. And that's supposed to be drawing me bees, but it has not produced not one damn flower yet. Here, you see that? That's supposed to be a delicata. But again, you can see this one down here. Hold on. See that one? So if he did not get fertilized, he will just end up dying off. I don't know if he's been fertilized. I'm going to come out here and I'll be doing some pruning. And I'm trying to get the flower or the plant to grow upward. That's a lemon cuke. He has not produced anything yet. He just started kind of taking off. So let's go. We'll come to the successful plant here at the end. This here is, I think, a jalapeno pepper plant. He just started bouncing up. That's a sweet potato plant. And this is the three sister method I was talking about. So this is a squash plant, corn, and peas. And this is going to be what peas are those? The yard-long peas, which is an Asian pea, usually used in stir fry. I've never grown it before. So I don't have a problem experimenting on food, and I'm a big Asian food fan. I think that's some kind of squash plant. It might be spaghetti squash. Has not produced anything. So we'll see what that one does. He's doing okay, not doing great. Those are some okra plants. I planted them late. And what we do have success with, which Mr. B been working, is I did not know till I came out here with y'all last time, I got cucumbers. So y'all can see, there's a baby one. If we can get up back in here. Let me see. Oh, hold on, y'all. Almost dropped you. See? There's one going back. These are Armenian. Looks like I done had a couple birds out here. And I got more back here. Here's one. See him? He's big. He's big. So he'll, and I think they get over like a foot, and then you can pull them. So he's big. But anyway, that's the garden. Let's go back in because it's hot. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, let me turn y'all around. Okay, hold on. Whoop, whoop, it's hot. I'll show y'all something else. I'll bring it in there. Whew, hot. Let me sit my butt down. Hold on. Okay. Back. Woo. Okay. The other thing I've been doing is I'm growing my own sprouts. So, and I make my own jars. So this is a new batch. And what you do, I'll probably do this from start to finish for you guys. But I have an old knife. I heat it up on the stove. And I poke little holes in the bottom. I leave a spot at the bottom. And I usually soak them. It has to soak, the initial soak, 6 to 8 hours. From there, you're supposed to do like a rinse soak 2 times a day. So I did one this morning, and then you let it sit, and I'll do one later tonight. And you have to drain it, and that's what I did, and I kind of just let it sit. And this time I'm brewing it. I was putting it in the dark, and it did okay. But I'm going to go ahead. Some of them you put in the dark, and some of them you're supposed to just let it stand light. I'm going to let this one stay out and see how it does instead of putting it in the dark. And so doing a little bit of experiment with how I maneuver it. But that one in the sprouts, and then I put those sprouts on my sandwiches. That's how I make my avocado sandwich. And I noticed there's a better flavor with the ones you do yourself opposed to the ones in the store. I'm going to get into microgreens. I haven't done that yet, but that's coming too. I'll be doing microgreens. I'm doing smoothies too now. So there's some things, and I think that on my journey of getting a little healthier, you guys can come along. That's part of it. And then as I get the apartment set up, I'll take you on some of that journey too. It's going to be a couple of months though, because like I said, the furniture is not going to fully come in until after I get the house treated. And then I want to have it treated again once the furniture comes out of storage. That way, if there's any issues in the storage unit, that when it comes in, the bugs, like it's like when I moved in here, I went and I bombed this apartment. I created because I saw roaches when I came in here. Not a lot, but enough for me to be concerned. And I'm gonna tell you, Regina stayed with me, and I don't think she saw nothing while I was here. I ain't really seen nothing since I've been. Well, when I got here the first week, I saw 4. I think it was 4. When I moved in. Before I moved in, there was a couple, but when I moved in, I saw 4. I saw 2 come across, one through the ceiling, one here, and then one came across here. I came in and did a bleach clean, and then I did a bombing. And then I created a roach bait, and I had it in every corner in this house. I put out little plates like it was their last meal. God bless you, have a last meal. And I made the bait. I put it behind the refrigerator. I put it in the cabinets. I put it behind the stove. I put it in every corner. I put it in every cabinet. Put it in every drawer. Put it in the closets. Put it in the bathroom. Everywhere I could think to put it, it was put. When Regina got here, there were little, I was like, oh, but that's the roach bait. That's their last meal. And when I got done, that was it. It was gone. And I ain't had no problem since. So that's why I said I want to make sure, and I'm going to have it professionally done, because the stuff has been in the storage unit for 3 years. I don't know who they moved in next to me. The good thing is that it's an outdoor storage unit, so if anything does get in, heat, and especially bed bugs, but heat, bed bugs, they don't live well together now. Roach a different story. Them little ninjas can survive through the atomic bomb, but bed bugs they don't survive in that normally. But I still want to make sure that I'm treated. So I'm probably once I bring everything in, I get it set up. I'm gonna have him come back through and do another spraying, and I might have him do a whole nother series, just to make sure. Because I don't, and then I'll have him from there on out. I'll have him come in once every other month or something like that, or once every 3 months. Especially because I'm in an apartment complex. Now, the good thing about my complex, the walls to both my neighbors is concrete. So I hear them if they bang on it, and they have to really bang and be really loud. I have windows here that if you're outside, if they had a party, I heard that. And I don't mind. I mean, I'm not a complaining neighbor. And like I said, right now, I try not to ask the owner to fix too much if I can do it, because I am paying literally the rent here, rent in Arizona. The guy I talked to, Larry, who used to be the truck driver, he moved in these apartments, enclosed carport, and he said when he did his lease, he thought he was signing for a dumb mortgage. I'm like, I'm good. Mine was just a normal old school lease, and I only paid $665 a month. So, $665, $650, whatever it is. That's all I pay every month. And so for me, my rent's relatively inexpensive. I don't have to pay a lot of money for rent. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with, and like even what I'm gonna do with the shade cloth, I just asked for the maintenance guy that she normally uses, and that shade guy, the maintenance guy's gonna come out. He'll put up the shade cloth for me, and I'll have him do a few other things. And I'll probably pay him to do that. Have Tony and pay him to fix it, and I've got something out there I'm gonna see if he can fix. And it's something really I should have the landlord do, but I'll go ahead and I'll pay to take care of it. Because I'd rather, if I do it, then I keep it cheap. I keep it to where when they go to renew my lease, I ain't paying a whole bunch of money. And most of the tenants in here, they've been in here down the end. She said they've been like 5, 7, 8 years, whatever. So she's been managing this place for a while. And y'all see little patios, cute. I mean, it's old apartments, 1950, but they have remodeled it. I mean, it's not top of the line remodel. It's what I call a, ghetto remodel, but painted, fixed, they did kind of the ghetto fixes and stuff. But overall, it's a good structure. I got all tile floors. There's no carpet. A lot of mopping. That's the only thing. There's a lot of mopping. But it's all tile floors. The tile, you always know when you're going to need a mop, because my tile is all cream white. So if you do mop, you don't have to mop a lot. You waste something, you need to mop, because it's going to be very evident, because it gets dirty quick, especially in the kitchen with me going in and out. I try to keep shoes by the back door. And I'm gonna try and get into the habit of switching, not into the shoes I walk out with, but switching to those, because when I'm walking and those wood chips are there, I'm tracking them back in. So until I get a border around the garden, that needs to be fixed. But other than that, y'all, I just wanted to kind of check in and chime in, let you know that there's some changes coming to the channel, that we're gonna refocus a little bit differently. It's gonna be really all sides of who I am. And that's just where this channel is going to go, because if I stay in the same place, it means that I haven't grown myself. And I believe that we should be growing, otherwise we'll be grumpy. We'll be sleeping our way to a casket, and that's not who I am. And then as far as Facebook, like I said, it's not to be cruel, but I've had some crazy behind stuff come up on my Facebook. Give you an example, I think it was a chick. She sent me a friend request. I said, do I know you? And like I said, if it's family or, not all my family, only certain ones, do I know you? And she said, what did she say to me? You a thick one, and something like that. And then she tried to go on the whole gay vibe, and I'm not there. Honey, that's been done a long time ago. I'm not there. So I realized where she was going, and that conversation ended, and she got deleted and blocked. And that was one of many. And I even get that from guys. That's not where I'm at. So that's why, as of now, I got a lot of truckers that I've become friends with. A lot of them have been blocked or deleted. And I'll say online friends, not that I know them personally. And one just hit me back up, and he seems like a nice guy, but his conversation and stuff that he posts is just crazy. So I was like, You can follow me on Trucker Doll or on the Trucker 411, but friend requests, no, I don't want to see your content. I really don't. And when you have that, I don't. And even in the messages, sometimes I block people in messages because I can't. If it's a bunch of conspiracy theory or a bunch of young, stupid stuff, and you have to go through your development. I'm not judging you. You should be a very sweet person. It's just that I'm 50 some years old. And some of the stuff that people are interested in that are foolishness to me. So it's just what it is. But yeah, let's see here. Oh, LaDon, no problem. Anyway, y'all, we are at 90 minutes. I didn't mean for it to be this long. Y'all be blessed. And like I said, I'm off for 6 days. I'll probably be back on here for another live. Maybe I'll think of another topic. Y'all can email me something if you want, or put a comment below. Please, if you watch the video, if you got this far, like, thumbs up, and share it out. Appreciate it. And I'll be going back doing some editing on all of my videos. So that's going to be part of what I'll be doing too this week. Updating some of the information. PayPal account, Cash App. I think Danielle was one of the first people to contribute. And some other people asked me to get the Cash App. I did that. So I'll be updating that. I've actually did a name change to it. So I was originally going to have it under Trucker Dog, but it's actually going to be on the Revelation Life. And it'll be used on both platforms. And then for those of you who are Christian or want Christian Bible study, I am on the YouTube channel under Revelation Life. I think RLM. I think it's just Revelation Life RLM. You can look for it. I'll put the link in here from here on out. And I'll be doing Bible studies every other Tuesday. So that may change because they just changed my schedule. So I may change that. I have to see because I got to see how the new schedule changes. They just messed with my Wednesday. So that may change. I was doing it like it'd be done this Tuesday. That might change, but we'll see. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. Yes, Revelation Life Ministries on YouTube. Thank you, Dustin. Peace, everybody. God bless you.